Pat Bonner. Tune to Radio Scotland Extra online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland, BBC Sounds and 810 medium wave. If it's open all mics you want, you'll find us on 92 to 95 FM online and BBC Sounds.
Football from Sports Sound
on BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome to Open All Mics on
BBC Radio Scotland Extra on digital and online at the website, of course. Just missed kick-off, unfortunately, here, but it is Celtic on the ball, going from left to right, wearing the green and white hoops, with Livingston in the yellow shirts with the black across the chest, black shorts, yellow socks with the black tops, right to left towards the Jockstein stand, as they look to try and upset long odds this afternoon against a much changed Celtic side. 8 alterations from the one that started here against Kairat in the Champions League qualifier on Wednesday evening, and it is the champions on the ball and coming forward out on the left hand side, with Murat making his debut for the club today, first appearance, as it breaks back to Scales in the halfway line and then knocked forward into the midfield for Paulo Bernardo. Kind of rare start for him. As Nygren collects, he's beginning the match wide on the right in place of James Forrest, who started there the other evening. But here come Livingston with the first feel of the ball in the midfield. It's going to be flicked out by the new striker Bakila to the right. The cross ball in towards the box is cut out, and Scales will knock it up the line. And now it's with Inamura over on the left hand side. So Celtic with Schmeichel in goal, Ralston, Murray, Scales, Inamura at the back, Engels, McCowan, Bernardo, Nygren, Yang and Yamada. And for Livingston, Prior in goal, Blaney, McGowan, Wilson, with Lowell and Finlayson either side. Essentially a back five, I would imagine, most of today, with Sila, Tate, Pittman in the middle, Bakila and Winter are up front. Winter perhaps a little bit more withdrawn when Celtic are on the ball, as they are right now. Level with the edge of the D of the Livingston box, pulled back to Bernardo, wide left, McCowan out to that far side for Yang. Now it's McCowan again, chip ball across the Livingston goal frame, comes all the way through to Lowell, who picks up and loses it, and it's won back by Ralston. Pulls the ball back to the edge of the box for Engels, then Nygren shoots and blocked by Blaney. Livingston able to get it clear up towards the halfway line, but they've given it away immediately, and it's Engels who finds McCowan, who rolls it out to Ralston wide on the right hand side, level with the penalty spot of Livingston, into Nygren and back to Bernardo. Chip ball through, looking for Yamada, and Prior was indecisive there. There is an offside flag in the end against Yamada, but the two of them didn't seem to know what was going on there. I think Yamada obviously thought he was offside and made a kind of last-ditch attempt to get onto it there, and Prior, a little bit of indecision may well have cost him had he not been saved by the flag there. 3 goalless minutes in.
Yeah, I agree. He could have been out for that ball. It's a true ball. It's one of those where you have to read the game, get on the front foot and read it, and it was right in almost about 4 yards from goal, where Yamada had nearly the contact on the ball, and he didn't come. He hesitated, but he was offside. But I'm just looking at, obviously, Livingston, you said, as a back five. I think it's starting off here, it's almost like a back nine. They're a back five, and the other 4 players is really in on top of her, and they're trying to keep that space really tight, that Celtic can't play through them.
Engels over on the left in field to Bernardo, he's trying to skip away from Macaulay Tate. It's Bernardo again, forward to McCowan. It's a ball back to his goalkeeper there by Finlayson. It's cleared by Prior, and it drops into the centre circle, where Dane Murray, who spent a part of last season on loan at Queen's Park, the first half of the campaign. In field, Bernardo gets it from Inamura, and it's Scales who's the skipper for the day for Celtic, shifting it to the right of the centre circle for Dane Murray. We will keep you up to date with what's going on across the country elsewhere as we go along here at Celtic Park. You are tuned into us on Radio Scotland Extra and on medium wave, as Engels picks up on the near side, trying to free himself of his man, gets the cross in, blocked by Lowell, and then Blaney turns it behind for the corner. Wasn't exactly decisive
bad decision
this
again.
near side, but
absolutely bad decision. He could have cleared out with his right foot up the pitch, and he elected to let it run almost across him, and then he was under pressure and played it out for a corner with his left foot, and that's poor defending.
Outswinging corner then for Celtic to be taken by Engels, right-footed. Then it comes to the 6-yard box. Prior decided to punch it. I think you could have probably caught that one. Packy, you'd have been looking to get your gloves wrapped around that one as it goes out for a corner out by the flag over on the near side.
Yeah, and my day I would be clutching that about 2 feet higher than when he's punched it. But anyway, another corner for Celtic. They're taking it short.
Short to Engels. It's back to Ralston. And that's a dreadful ball by Ralston, and Livingston onto it here and trying to make the best of its take, but he just kind of runs the ball out of play on this near side, and that will be a Celtic throw-in. Yeah,
just looking at Celtic as I predicted, you know, Bernardo's the sitting player taking in over the position of McGregor. It's Nygren out here on the right hand side, but he will drift, he will run inside, and he'll rotate with Engels at times, but he starts out wide as he is now. He's just picked up a ball, and that's a poor ball from him. Yeah, the pass goes straight to Samson Lawwell, who has it, comes across the halfway line, trying to get it out to the near side, but again he too runs it out of play. The first goal in the SPFL this afternoon has been scored by Cali Thistle. We're 1-0 up at Links Park against Montrose in League One. Goalless elsewhere, albeit Stirling Albion, I think, have just gone 1-0 up on East Kilbride in the bottom tier. There's the long ball for Celtic, comes all the way through to Jerome Prior, who holds on. So it's 0-0, 6.5 minutes played at Celtic Park. Yeah, I think, you know, Celtic have got to have more penetration than they've had. And you know, the first half against Falkirk, it was poor. Better in the second half, but a game against almost Kairat Almaty, they just did not create the chances, especially in that sort of forward position. And that is a big concern at the moment. So they have to today see if they can get a little bit more penetration, get the striker on the end of things, but who's going to pass the ball to him, and will the midfielders maybe run beyond him at times? Yamada's ball back into the centre circle for Bernardo, and then to Ralston on the right, low ball infield. Yamada in the central area, back to Bernardo, feeds it out to Namura wide on the left, and then to the edge of the box, looking to get back onto it there, and eventually as Yang chased it, Prior smothers it at the Korean's feet. It stays Celtic 0, Livy 0. Yeah, Yang made a difference when he came on the other night at the start. He kind of faded out of it after that, but he definitely had an impact coming off the bench. But he's starting today, so you want him to do exactly what he did there, coming on the inside, give and go, and then nearly getting on the end of a little pass from McCowan. Long haul journey for Celtic, which begins tomorrow, off to eastern Kazakhstan to face Kairat in Almaty on Tuesday evening. Hence the big changes in the starting 11 today. Long ball there for Livingston up towards Bakila, but he can't do anything with it. Sails past him, and Ralston moves it onto the halfway line. Low ball forward for Nygren. Lawwell will turn it out for a Celtic throw-in, which is level with the edge of the D of the Livingston box. Yeah, Livingston they're so deep at the moment. They're really on their edge of their 18 with 9 players, and they've only got that one striker up front. And when they get the ball, then if they do play it long, which they've tried on a few occasions, it's got to be more accurate, and he's got to hold it up. But it's such a distance for them, the other 4 midfielders, to get up and support him. The only times Livy have avoided defeat here were in goalless draws in April 2019, January 21 and October later that year. They've lost all the other matches at Celtic Park. But they've given it away at the edge of their own box, Livy, albeit Yamada was unable to make anything of it. The referee blows his whistle. I think it maybe bounced off him there. There will be a drop ball in Livingston's favour. They were in possession at the edge of their own box. And 9 minutes in, Brendan Rodgers, despite all the changes, Packy will want his team to make a fast start, try and get the early goals so they don't become embroiled in a sea of frustration, as we heard and saw here the other night. Yeah, the longer the games go on, David Martindale will be doing exactly the opposite, hoping that they can frustrate them and not give anything away. But from Celtic's perspective, it's got to be, they look a little bit imbalanced today. You know, obviously Nygren is not a winger as such, and when he picks the ball up here, has he got the ability to link up with the strikers? Has he the ability to go past somebody? And they're the questions, or is it just keeping the ball and playing across midfield again? I'd like to see him go on the inside and see can he get in that little holes or make them little runs beyond Yamada, just to ask questions of that sort of back five of Livingston. They're very comfortable at the moment.
Both teams have made good starts to the season. Celtic 6 points out of 6 with wins over St Mirren and Aberdeen. Livingston 4 points on their return to the top flight. They're already 3 points better off than they were 2 years ago. They would later be relegated, of course, but a battling draw at Kilmarnock and then the victory over Falkirk last time out a couple of weeks back represents a good return in the first 2 games for Martindale. The Celtic come forwards, a chip ball into the Livy box, which is headed away by Finlayson. Clearance completed by Pittman. The header from Scales, cushion forward for Bernardo in the Livy half, to the right of the centre circle for Ralston as we hit the 11-minute mark at 0-0. Celtic over on the left, Yang can't control it, bounces off him, and eventually Ryan McGowan takes command and goes down and wins the free kick over on the far side, and it remains Celtic 0, Livy 0, as it is in the other 2 Premiership matches being played at Tynecastle and Rugby Park this afternoon, as it does in the 4 games in the Championship and the relative infancy of them. Just the 1 goal in League 1, Cali Thistle lead Montrose by 1-0, and just the 1 in League 2. Stirling Albion 1-0 up on East Kilbride. Russell McLean with the goal in that one. The Cali Thistle goal scorer was Alfie Babbage, who's on loan from Aberdeen. Celtic with a little header out of defence there from Dane Murray, and then to Ralston. Murray will be hoping he doesn't become another Stephen Welsh, where he's in the periphery of the first team.
Yeah, listen, I think Brendan Rodgers has got high hopes from him, from what I've heard from him, and you know, he's got the profile. He's big, he's tall, so physically he's got it. I think he's a good passer of the ball. It's just can he break into the team and get enough game time, and that's going to be very difficult for him ahead of Scales and ahead of Carter Vickers. Trusty, of course, also. Yeah,
Nygren back to McCowan and then to Ralston wide right of the box. A good sliding challenge across there by the former Motherwell man Shane Blaney. It's out for a throw-in, which Ralston takes quickly. Here's Luke McCowan. Delicate chip ball into the box, headed away by the experienced Wilson. Bernardo rolls it right of the box for Ralston. Then Bernardo to Nygren and then to McCowan. A little ball from Inamura, infield to McCowan, then to Scales, out to the left-hand touchline. It goes for Yang. Good challenge by Finlayson as Livingston clear. And then Inamura goes all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel midway inside his own half. Yeah, it was a H here.
Poor touch from Yang again when the ball went out to him. He's offside, was he?
The flag's not up yet. Engels takes it on, left-hand side of the box, pulls it across. Yamada knocks it home.
Offside.
The flag is up, as Packy thought it would be, and it stays Celtic 0, Livy 0.
But that's the run. That's the run that you're looking for. Just getting the timing of that run from Engels. He's playing over on the left-hand side with McCowan on the right of that midfield triangle, and just the timing of the run. The ball's just played over a very square back 5 of Livingston when they just stepped up at us and that point. You could say it's good defending, but I just think that the space was there to be exploited, and that.
I mean, they're having a little look at this back at VAR HQ, and that's Stephen McLean who's in charge of that department today. So just a little delay just to confirm that this is offside. But you certainly thought he was.
I thought he was initially, yeah, absolutely. And but let's well, I can't be absolute when VAR's looking at it.
Yeah, we don't have screens here. We don't
have screens. Yeah. But just my first feeling was that he was offside. But you know, from Livingston's point of view, they've got 3 centre halves up against 1 striker, and Engels makes that run from midfield. One of them has got to either track him, be sure that he's offside if they're going to play that, but otherwise track him properly.
Kevin Clancy's got his left hand to his left ear. It must be tighter than we thought, but it is offside. That is confirmed.
Must have been close though.
It's 0-0, yeah. Yeah, closer than we thought, perhaps.
Yeah, so that's taking a risk there, Livingston, and they've got away with it. But as I was saying, it's either one of the centre halves or the player who's picking up Ingles has got to they've got to get that communication right, because that's a big chance.
Yeah, Yamada denied his first Celtic goal there, his first start for the club. 25, he's no youngster, Yamada.
Yeah,
it's a great little touch from him there as he takes McGowan right out of play, but Livy have enough back to prevent them from making inroads forward as Pittman collects wide in the right and wins the throw-in of Inamura over on that far side. 15 in, 0-0.
It was a nice bit of skill there from Yamada, just the ball's played into him, and he's a little bit of skill to get away from his marker, but then it's the next part that he wasn't able to slot. I don't know who was running down the left side of him, but he just got his head up to slot somebody through. He doesn't look a big physical one. I just wonder, is he really quick? Kyogo, as we know, just came alive as soon as he started that movement. I don't see that yet in Yamada. They'll be hoping that they've got another Kyogo, but let's see how he performs today, and then we can maybe have a little bit of a critique on him later. But
do you think Kyogo regrets his move away? He's now at Birmingham after that ill-fated spell at Rennes. Yeah,
well, listen, it's a difficult one. He was so, the fans loved him here. And
hold on, Finlayson with the cross ball in. It's Livingston came down the right, headed away. Lawal turning it to the left-hand side of the box. Right foot cross comes in, is headed away by Inamura. It's a good header as well. It's Andy Winter was waiting behind him. It's now with Danny Wilson, left-footed, switch of play out to the right. It's a brilliant ball from Wilson. Finlayson, first time cross in, headed away by Murray. Killed in the chest by Blaney, turns it back onto the halfway line for McGowan, who finds Wilson. Long ball from Wilson's nowhere near as good as his last one, and it's going to sail behind for a goal kick to Celtic down by the corner flag. He's apologising to Winter there on that occasion is Wilson, and David Martindale, he went with a back four last week. Indeed, he's been playing that mainly this season, but coming to Celtic Park, he's tweaked it. He's got the three centre backs and the two full backs either side. As he brings a bit more solidity to things, he will know what to expect, even with all the changes Celtic made. We know when Celtic last did this and made a host of changes, as many as this, they put 5 goals past Aberdeen at Pittodrie. So still strong. As Engels picks up left of the centre circle and rolls it to Bernardo. Out wide right for Nygren against Lawal, who comes across and makes the challenge, and out for a Celtic throw-in level with the Livingston 18-yard line. And bowled back to Bernardo, who arrived for close to 5 million a year ago, having been on loan from Benfica the season before. Nygren, lovely little touch to him by McCowan, I think it was. Nygren's cross headed away by Wilson. Then McGowan passes it out of defence. McCowan with the foul on Winter, and that will be a Livingston free kick. Just a few yards from the near side touchline and midway inside their own half. They're 18 in, 0-0.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Nygren. He's definitely not a winger, that's for sure. He is a midfielder, playing higher up the pitch. But when he gets the ball, I'm not sure he can go and beat a player in that wide area just to go to the byline. Everything's coming on the inside at the moment, trying to link up with his midfielder or his striker and that. But you've got to, when you're so condensed in that centre midfield area, the wide guys are the guys who's going to go and create for you. They've got to be able to go and take on that wing back and get to the byline.
Peterhead 1-0 up at home to Cove Rangers in League One. Remains goalless in the top flight and in the second tier. Montrose 0, Cali Thistle 1, Peterhead 1, Cove Rangers 0. League 2, just the one goal, which I mentioned earlier. Stirling Albion leading East Kilbride by a goal to 0. So not too much in the way of goal action across the country so far. I'm sure that will change. Celtic being frustrated in the opening 20 minutes when you're the visiting manager here, as Dane Murray passes it straight out the pitch And the visiting manager,
Very happy.
You've got the little bookmarks across the match, and I'm sure 20 minutes is one of them. And I'm sure Davy Martindale would have made a point in his pre-match talk with his players that it might not take too long for the Celtic fans to start turning on the team, given the reaction the other night.
Yeah, and listen, he'd be very, very happy at the moment. Celtic don't look as if they've got enough to go and hurt them, really. And if they just keep playing their game and doing all the right things defensively, and eventually if they get up the pitch into that third, we've seen it already, they'll play balls into the box, they'll ask questions of Celtic, and that's what he kind of wants. They just got to move up as a unit, and that then takes a little bit of risk, maybe with the ball over the top, as we've seen with that run from Engels, but in general terms, they'll be very, very happy.
Flick on, played up towards Bukila. He loses out though, and it's Celtic winning it back in defence, but Lawwell pinches it back off McCowan. On this near side, it's level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box to Tate. Swings a cross ball in, which is headed back by Inamura to Schmeichel, who's to scamper out to the left-hand side of his box to get onto it, as he bowls it quickly out to Engels, who rolls it to Inamura, and then infield to Scales. Square ball for Murray. Rolls it low out to Nygren on the near side. Ralston ahead of him. Nygren then infield to Bernardo. Bernardo up the line for Ralston. He's under pressure from Winter, goes to ground, wins the free kick, which he takes quickly. Rolls it infield to Engels. Now with Scales in the centre circle, forward to McCowan. Out to Inamura, and then infield to Engels, then to McCowan, now to Bernardo, out to the right for Ralston. Right central position. Back to Murray. Now it's with McCowan. Left foot ball's poor, given away, and Livingston have it back on that right-hand side. An opportunity for Daniel Finlayson to drive forward. He's trying to win the throw-in, and he's managed to do that.
Yeah, that's the right thing. He had no support really up alongside him, and he just worked the ball, ran with it, and just played it off. It might have been Yang and out for a throw, and that just gets the whole unit up the pitch just now.
First goal in the Premiership has gone in. It's been scored by Motherwell at Tynecastle. Hearts 0, Motherwell 1. Callum Slattery has scored it. Schmeichel playing it short. Bernardo did really well to smuggle that to Ralston, because he was under severe pressure there. Two Livingston players were in the Celtic box at the time.
Yeah, if he took a touch at all, he was under severe pressure. And he played first time, which he did.
And they're giving it away again, Celtics. A chance here for Livingston through Mo Sila to drive forward, the former Dundee man, but he runs into Murray, who then plays it off Sila and out for a Celtic throw-in on this near side. There's been a couple of loose balls from Celtic players, which is beginning to stir the emotions of the home support. We played a quarter of this one. Celtic 0, Livingston 0.
Yeah, I think Tate's down injured, is it?
Well, he was the Livingston player involved there when Bernardo managed to nick it away. He was the most advanced of the Livy players. He's obviously taken some kind of injury as he tried to get onto it, and he's down and receiving treatment.
Yeah, he slid in and just maybe made contact with Bernardo when as he was going to ground higher up, and when he was in that sort of Celtic penalty box, but he's down, he's getting a little bit of treatment, but it just allows maybe both managers to one with David Martindale, just to consolidate what he's been doing and doing well, while Brendan Rodgers and his staff is it's not Brendan is talking, it's John Kennedy is out there trying to give a little bit of instruction to his Celtic team to G them up a little bit and get them going, because they had a little bit of a counter-attack there going when they broke forward, when Livingston was pressing them, and they didn't really look as if they wanted to go, and they weren't convincing even in that transition.
Yeah, the Celtic's bid to reach the Champions League. There'll be full coverage of that here on Sports Sound on Tuesday evening as they go to Almaty to play Kairat in the second leg. It's a 5:45 kickoff UK time. Kazakhstan 5 hours ahead of the UK. And will be Brugge against Rangers on Wednesday evening, the same stage, the same tournament. Highlights on Wednesday evening of both on the BBC, as Ralston picks up midway inside the Livingston half and rolls it to the left. Inamura who goes back to Scales.
Yeah, everything's played in front of that Livingston sort of almost. I described them as a back nine.
They look quite happy with that, though.
Yeah, they're very happy, and that's Celtic have got to be more creative. They've got to make runs. They've got to run without the ball. Little runs in behind, just creating space, and then the player on the ball has got to be able to pick a pass. But everything.
Yeah, here goes Yang down the left. Chip ball into the box, too high for Nygren. Comes outside the area to Ralston, bends it back in with the right foot. Pittman chose to leave it, and it's ultimately the correct decision because it goes out for a throw into Livingston down by the corner flag over on the north stand side. The Livingston right as they go right to left. 25 on the clock. It remains goalless here.
Yeah, it was just a ball played almost into the back post. Yamada was over Yamada's head, but there was nobody else getting in on the end of it, and it just goes all the way out to the corner flag and for a Livingston throw. Yeah, not good at the moment from Celtic, and you're right. I think David Martindale will be saying, just keep this going, guys, and we're in 25 minutes into the game, and let's see how Celtic fans react to it.
It's about concentration for Livingston right now as Morton go 1-0 up on Ayr United. They've had a poor start to the season in the Championship. At Capello, Morton 1 Ayr 0. Here comes Celtic with Nygren. Low ball to the edge of the box for McCowan. Knocks it back to Nygren. Into the left for Inamura, and in field to Nygren again. The Swede who scored his first goal for the club in their last league game at Pittodrie. Ralston's cross comes off Winter. The corner is prevented by Blaney. High ball out to this near side, bouncing around. Ralston trying to win it back for Celtic, and he's managed to hold off Winter. Now drops to Nygren, plays it off Winter, and out for a throw into Celtic. Level with the Livingston penalty spot is 0-0. As Engels tries to win the corner, and he has done, down on this near side, the Celtic right, in front of the Livy fans.
Yeah, just a little injury. I'm sure it was a Blaney.
It is Blaney, yeah.
Yeah, they just got a knock as he was intercepting that ball, so he's down a little bit of treatment.
He's from your county, is Shane Blaney.
He is. He played with Finnharst, my local team over in the League of Ireland when he was a young man, Sligo Rovers. So he's come over here and has had a decent career for himself. He was at Motherwell. Now has obviously changed club and getting the game, so that for him, it's a career that he may not have got over in Ireland.
Yeah, after 2.5 seasons it was at Motherwell. He's in a busy window as David Martindale. No fewer than 14 new signings have come in for this season. Many of them are starting today. You include the full-time signing of Stevie May and Macaulay Tate returning.
There's a lot of signings. You've got to work hard at trying to blend them and get them into an organisation. But today they've looked okay. They've looked well organised.
They're all going to have to make a change here, Packy. I mentioned Stevie May there. He's on the bench today. And it looks like he's getting ready to come on. So then do they drop Sila back into the defence? It'll be interesting to see what Martindale does here. Assuming it's Blaney who's unable to continue. He's the one who's been receiving the treatment. But May is coming on. It is going to be Blaney who's unable to continue. That's a blow for Livingston, because that back five has been doing a terrific job of keeping Celtic at arm's length in these opening 28 minutes.
Yeah, and it just creates maybe a little bit of a doubt in decision making or communication also between that back three. So it'll be interesting to see how this works for them.
So May on for Blaney as Engels prepares to take this corner. Celtic looking for the breakthrough. He comes to the back post, flicked away. It's only half a clear there by May. He's just on. Chance here to be shifted back out wide right. It's a poor pass though, not for the first time. A Celtic player giving it away. This time it's Yang. Sila on the near side is bundled to the ground by Engels, and that'll be a Livingston free kick. The wall of sound, the groans on the Celtic supporters. Yeah. As we approach the half hour, no breakthrough for them yet.
Yeah, and they don't look as if they're going to make the breakthrough. That's the point. They've got plenty of possession, but it's all in front of Livingston at the moment, just moving it from side to side, and just not creating again, which is a real worry for the Celtic supporters, and I'm sure Brendan Rodgers also.
League Two, and Lewis Dobby has equalised at Stirling Albion 1-1. And that's the only game with any goals in League Two. League One, still Inverness 1-0 up at Montrose, and Peterhead 1-0 up at home to Cove. Morton 1-0 up on Ayr in the Championship, and Motherwell leading Hearts 1-0 at Tynecastle. Hearts topping the embryonic league table after a couple of games. Bernardo wide right for Nygren, blocked by Winter, who goes to ground. He's not getting a free kick. Will be a Celtic throw-in level with the Livy 18-yard line.
Yeah, the other thing with Nygren, he's left-footed, playing out on the right-hand side, and every time he gets the ball, he's going to go on the inside. He hasn't got a really right foot on him, and that's predictable for the fullback.
It looks as though the reshuffle sees Finlayson go in as one of the back three for Livingston. Yeah. Lawwell's gone from left to right, and Andy Winter has gone wide left. Primarily a striker, really, Winter. And Celtic come forward. It is a little ball in field by Yang to the edge of the box for McCowan. It goes down, no free kick. It's now with the Livy skipper McGowan over on the right. And there's a little ball up the line, not enough on it for Lawwell, but the referee's going to stop play here because McCowan was down. Didn't look like a head knock. I'm not sure why the match had to be stopped there.
He's gone to ground, and he's kind of almost one of them clashes, just probably his shin. I look at his socks halfway down.
I'm not sure why he stopped play then, Kevin Clancy.
No, I don't think he should have. He's just got a knock, and it's one of them where you know, bone against bone, and it's sore, but there wasn't anything in it.
Celtic fans not happy because they won the ball back on the far side, right. And they were also upset because they thought that was a free kick when McCowan went down. And then Kevin Clancy, well, they thought it was, you might not have, but they certainly thought it was.
Yeah.
And Scales plays it short forward to Engels, back to Scales, and in field to Engels. Liam Scales with the armband today, Packy. It'll be a proud moment for him, I would have thought.
Nice honour for him, and that I'm sure, but he deserves it. He's been one of their best players over the last season that I've seen anyway.
Chip ball forward by Triar, and a foul by May. No, there's a throw-in though to Celtic. May with his arms outstretched in one of his proudest moments in his career in this very stadium. Stevie May, incredible to think it's over 11 years since he helped St Johnstone win the Scottish Cup here against Dundee United. Went on to win it a second time, and indeed the League Cup too in 2021. Did May against Livingston, that League Cup triumph. As Livy pick up with Finlayson on the right-hand side of the defence, he clears. It's only as far as Inamura. In field it goes to Bernardo, and now it's with Murray, who slips it to Ralston right of the centre circle. 32.5 on the clock, no goals. Here's Nygren on the near side for Celtic. Infield to Bernardo. His ball forward is cut out though by Tate, but here they come again with Engels with his ball through. Clear by Wilson, though Prior was there. Wilson decided to deal with it, and I guess to the centre back, despite Prior saying it was his ball. If you're in any doubt at all, you just get rid of it. Wilson did. But here comes Celtic with Scales, rolling it out wide left for Inamura, who moves in field. It's back with Scales. Rolls it with the right foot along the grass to the left for Yang. Dinks it to the left-hand side of the box for Engels. And down at the corner flag, McCowan's cross comes in, headed away by McGowan. Livy deal with that pretty simply again. Celtic pick up the scraps over on the far side. Engels, he's covering plenty of grasses, Engels, to be fair to him.
Yeah, but listen, it's very predictable on what Celtic's doing. They're keeping the ball, passing and all that. But where is the penetration?
Nygren trying to do just that down this near side. He's not going to win the corner though. It's clear by Wilson. A couple of goals to tell you about in the Championship. Stanway scored for Partick Thistle in Dingwall. They're 1-0 up there. Good recent record in Dingwall against County. One there in the League Cup groups. And St Johnstone have gone 1-0 up through Jack Baird at home to Arbroath. In the Championship. Cally Thistle now 2-0 up in League One at Montrose. Dumbarton in League 2 have gone 1-0 up at Annan. Edinburgh City 1-0 up at Borough Briggs against Elgin. East Kilbride have turned things around to lead Stirling Albion 2-1 away from home. You can get the score lines at any time, bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. Here comes Celtic down the left, looking to make the breakthrough here. Yang's cross ball comes in, there's a header at goal, which Prior tips over from Yamada. And Celtic have the corner, 0-0 as we go into the final 10 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, first cross really into the box, and Yamada getting on the end of it. He got good high, good spring, got a kind of loopy type of header, nearly went in over the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper had to react quickly to touch it over the crossbar. But yeah, that was better. At least they got into position, and we've seen a striker at least getting something on target.
Yeah, I mean, Livingston are offering nothing in the attacking areas of the pitch, but defending well. But that was a chance as Engels' corner comes in. Prior gets the slightest touch onto it. Pittman can't control, but his touch takes it wide over towards the corner flag, where Bernardo's happy to accept the throw.
Yeah, Liam, if you're Livingston coming here and you've not allowed Celtic to create anything for 35 minutes, that's the nature of the game for them, and they'll be very, very happy with that. The creativity or their ability maybe to score a goal might come in the latter stages of the game. The most important thing is that you don't allow Celtic to get the upper hand and get that goal. That was the first real chance for Celtic after 35 minutes.
They've had 81% possession, Celtic.
Yeah, which I'm not surprised with.
I mean, how often do we see it?
But if you've got 81%, you would like to be creating more opportunities, that's for sure.
If you're coughing up 81%, generally the best you can manage is a goalless draw, and that's what Livingston are managing at the moment. However, Celtic have won a free kick wide left of the Livy box, level with the penalty spot, and Arne Engels stands over it. Plenty in green and white hoops in the middle to hit here. It's a dreadful ball in, which is easily clear by Lawal.
Yeah, I don't like him.
That's not an £11 million cross, that one, Packy, from the free kick, and Arne Engels
but he's
disappointed with that.
Yeah, he will be disappointed because he has the ability. You know, we've seen him put in some fantastic against Falkirk. He's put in brilliant balls from set pieces from that particular side of the pitch, and that was poor, that one. But you know, and that adds the frustration a little bit.
Sports Sound here, BBC Radio Scotland Extra, and on 810 medium wave, on digital, online at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. Frustrating day at the office so far for the champions. It is Murray for Celtic, waiting to slip it in behind Winter, who's chasing with Nygren. Nygren wins it off him in the box. Chance, shoots, blocked by McGowan. Where was that going? Had it not been for the big Aussie, the Livy skipper, he was behind for the corner, and Andy Winter's breathing a big sigh of relief.
Yeah, that's the ball in behind, but
yeah, the corner's been taken. Chip back to the edge of the box for McCowan. Rolls it low back to Nygren. Little ball in field there for Yang. Back to Nygren. Rolls it low back to Ralston. Ralston then finds Nygren. Back to Ralston. It's not the greatest ball in the world. It's Ralston having to retreat to get onto it. Now Murray in the centre circle finds Bernardo. Rolls it square in field to Murray, who finds Ralston. I'm going to split the defence here. Rolls it to Yang, right hand side of the box at the byline, pulls it back, and it's cleared by Finlayson. It has been better from Celtic just these last few minutes. David Martindale is willing that clock to tick down to half time, because they do seem to be up in the ante a little bit here, but it does remain Celtic 0, Livy 0 with 7 to the break.
Yeah, and listen, the initial one, when Winters tried to kind of shield Nygren off the ball to let it run for a throw, and there was a mistake, and Nygren got the ball, just couldn't hit the target properly. He's just had a shot really, and it deflected away. The second one was a good run from Yang down, and that's what they need. They need these players to run beyond that sort of back five, and then it's about the player on the ball picking the pass, and that was better from them in that instance, but it hasn't happened enough, I don't think, in this game so far.
It is 2-0 Peterhead in that match for Cove in League One. Celtic come forward down the left. Slow ball back across, cut out initially, and then the header was passed for the goal kick as Yang tried to get his head back onto it.
Clash of heads, Liam.
Yeah, maybe a stoppage in play here. There's going to be a couple of minutes, certainly 2 or 3 minutes added on at the end of this first half. So yeah, Peterhead 2, Cove Rangers 0. Kieran Shanks with the second after Max Barry, and put the Blue Toon 2-0 up. So well, there's a stoppage here. I'll run you through the scores across the country as they stand goalless here. The only goal in the 3 Premiership matches scored by Callum Slattery for Motherwell, who are 1-0 up at Hearts. Goalless Kilmarnock Dundee. In the Championship, 0-0 Airdrieonians Queen's Park. Morton leading Ayr United 1-0. Eamon Brophy with the only goal in that one. Partick Thistle through Stanway are 1-0 up at Ross County, and St Johnstone 1-0 up at home to Arbroath in that one. So League One, goalless Alloa Hamilton, as it is East Fife Kelty. Montrose 0, Cali Thistle 2, Peterhead 2, Cove Rangers 0, Stenhousemuir 0, Queen of the South 0 in League 2. Annan 0, Dumbarton 1, Elgin 0, Edinburgh City 1, goalless Spartans Forfar, Stirling Albion 1, East Kilbride 2, and Stranraer have gone 1-0 up on Clyde, approaching the half-time whistle in that one. So that's you up to date with all the matches in the SPFL across the 4 divisions. Remember last night, Raith Rovers beating Dunfermline in the derby 2-0 in the Championship. Tomorrow, lunchtime kick-off, St Mirren against Rangers. Not the fixture that Russell Martin probably would have handpicked to try and get back on the rails there, as Rangers look for their first league win of the season on match day 3. And then attention turns to Europe. Kairat Celtic, 5:45 kick-off on Tuesday. Rangers are at Club Brugge on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, the second legs in the Europa League and Conference League. Aberdeen 2-2 with FCSB heading to Bucharest. Hibs 2-1 down, heading to Poland to take on Legia Warsaw. Full coverage across the week. Another busy week on Sportsound. Game on here again. Looks as though the 2 players are okay to continue after the head knock. The Celtic pick up with Inamura, and he rolls it back to Schmeichel. Almost in 42 minutes here, 0-0. As I say, there will be a fairly chunky injury time on at the end of the first half, and this is usual when you're the visiting team. It is an important period in the match, because how often does Celtic make the breakthrough at this sort of point? Scales dinking it into the box in behind the defence. Rolled wide left there by Shin Yamada to Yang, but his ball across low. Comfortably latched onto though by Prior at his near post.
Yeah, nice little run. Ball's playing behind, just the link-up play. And once Yamada makes that run down the inside right position, then players have got to get into the box also on the other opposite side.
There's Bernardo on the turn. He's inside his own half. May fouls him. A free kick. Didn't look at all like Stevie May was ever going to win that football. Bernardo went away from him, and Celtic fans want him booked here. It's going to be just a warning, I think, from referee Clancy.
Yeah.
As you can hear, Scales picks up and knocks it out to the left-hand side for Inamura. And now in field it comes to Murray, slips it through. Yamada, he's in, chance, pulls it across the face of goal, and I don't think that was even going on target there, and there was a fairly tame effort which Livingston clear.
Yeah, again, the run was good, the initial bit, but the final execution was very poor. He's right and on his right foot. Goalkeeper comes, hesitates, and then he straightens up, but he can almost panicked a little bit, if I could say, and that's not what a centre forward in that position should be doing.
Good play by Dane Murray though, wasn't it, to slip it through, and Celtic come again. The cross from the left is headed away by Winter. Takes to Ralston, controls in the chest, turns in field, gets the ball forward, but it comes all the way through to Prior, who will gather. We are going into the final minute of the 45. Celtic 0, Livingston 0.
Yeah, it's been listen, Livingston will be very happy if they can get into half-time 0-0. That just gives them something then to really play for in the second half. Celtic just lacking creativity, plenty of possession, but just isn't what we've seen from Celtic in the past.
Well, the one thing you would say is that Brendan Rodgers has got a fair bit of ammunition.
He has to take off the bench, yeah, absolutely, Liam. And you know, 8 changes is a lot now. The ones I'm looking at, it's just an imbalance of the team. There's Negri on the ball again, he back on the inside, pass across, square pass to Bernardo, but you know, going nowhere.
Yeah, here come Livingston, played into the path of May by Sela. May's on his own at the moment, driving down the left, his little ball in. I think he passed that infield more in hope than any expectation Scott Pittman was going to get onto it. Celtic have it back, it's a long ball forward. It's going to be 5 minutes added on at the end of the first half here because of those injuries. Here comes Celtic down the left. It's Yang into the box. It's behind the line, and it will be a goal kick to Livingston. We're in the first of the 5 minutes. On. David Martindale knows the importance of these 5 minutes. He's down there chatting with Marvin Bartley, who's back on his staff these days.
Yeah. But just again, when Livingston won the ball and Stevie May broke up this left-hand side, obviously the striker was taken out and he was down the ground, but there was very few then that could get up and support them, and they kind of run out of ideas higher up the pitch. And that might be something they might address in the second half a little bit, but because they're so deep and they're so well organised and they've got so many bodies back there, difficult then to get the offensive side right. But from Celtic's perspective, they've got to get a bit more creativity. They've got to find a way. Yang is probably the only one that you could say maybe on that left-hand side, because that's his natural left, and he might go and create. But I don't see anything from this right-hand side whatsoever.
Kelty Hearts, as though they've equalised against East Fife 1-1 in League One. As I said, the scorelines at any time if you're able to do so. If you're not out driving, bbc.co.uk/sportscotland, live text there. There is a tab in amongst that which will take you to all the scores as they stand, as it stands, tables as well, albeit they are in their embryonic phase. Danny Wilson with a long ball from a free kick for Livingston from inside the centre circle. Goes deep into the Celtic half, but easily able to clear. And now Nygren gets in ahead of May and ahead of Wilson as it slipped out left. Yang, it's an early ball. Chance here, Engels, he's in the box. He stumbles as he moved into the area, and that allowed Livingston to clear. Here comes Celtic again. Ralston, right-hand side of the box. Nygren, chip ball to the back post. Oh, what a save by Prior onto the bar.
Oh my word.
And it's cleared. It's outstanding goalkeeping. And Livy cleared out for a Celtic throw-in wide on the left.
I'm not sure how he saved that, I'll be honest.
Did he get the touch before the crossbar? Did it come back down?
No, he touched it onto the crossbar.
Amazing save.
And it was a really, really incredible. Like, he's coming flying in down on the left at the back post, Yamada, and he's headed it quite well. But funnily enough, Yang, sorry, that's the difficulty now. With the two of them look very alike, Yang. But he's almost had to stick just a hand up. It was kind of almost a reaction type save to go across, and fortunately for the goalkeeper, it almost hits his hand up onto the crossbar. Brilliant save, you've got to say. Brilliant save. But Celtic, I think the initial one, when Engels broke into the box, you expect him with his qualities to do better. He's kind of almost fell over, but he kept it alive, comes out to Negri on this side, he chips it to the back post, and there was Yang flying in. Just all he's got to do is get it on target, and he didn't expect the goalkeeper to pull off that save.
I mean, that's one of the saves of the season. This is just match day 3. Here comes Celtic again with Engels. They're knocking on the door a little bit here. Engels trying to win at least a corner. Sela for company. Engels goes to ground in the box, shaking the head from Kevin Clancy. And Livingston clear. Engels playing like a man that is struggling for confidence right now.
Yeah, well, listen, he hasn't been in the team, and that's the problem. He hasn't been playing, so early in the season.
Well, he's playing today. He's struggling a bit as Winter gives away the corner. Celtic up in the ante as we move into the final minute of the 5 that were added on at the end of the first half. It's Ralston with the cross from the right, having got the short corner, headed towards goal. Comfortable take there as It was won by Inamura, just bounces right through to Prior, who holds on. He deserves his clean sheet at the break.
Yeah, he does.
He's going to get it just for that save alone. It's outstanding.
Yeah, I don't understand what Celtic were doing there. They've taken a short corner. They had no chance of getting the organisation inside the box set up. Murray was on his way up, Scales was on his way up, but they weren't even in the box when they took that so quickly. You've got to use that right on half-time, the opportunity to get that ball and use your big guys, get it into an area and test that sort of Livingston defence to see can you get a goal, and they didn't. Very frustrating. But as I keep going back to it, Livingston will be very, very happy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The organisation, what they've done in this half, that was probably the tactics that was set up, just to defend, make sure you don't give anything away, make it difficult for Celtic. That's what they've done. So they're now in a position going in at half time, 0-0, that they can actually maybe try and change it slightly in the second half. For Celtic, they haven't created enough. It's all lots of possession, moving the ball, working it, but not enough penetration, not enough. They've had one or two chances, and of course that big chance at the end there with Yang coming in, but the goal still hasn't come.
Well, they're calling for the board to be sacked again, the Celtic fans. I mean, there's a couple of things come in to play here. Yes, of course, they want new signings, they want to see them out there today, but Brendan Rodgers very deliberately changed the team today because they've got that seismic Champions League qualifier on Tuesday, which is in mid-Asia. So you can see why he's made all the changes.
Of course, and that is the risk that you take, and maybe that's also a message to the players and to the board that, listen, the ones who are in the squad, they've got to step up and perform if you're going to make those changes. And if you're going to play in Europe and in the league and in cups, you have to change things up at times.
I mean, they're singing sack the board, but that message will be being taken in by the players as well, and they'll know it's their performance that's leading to that. As Engels picks up, we're into a 7th minute of stoppage time. There was another lengthy stoppage in play because of injury. This time it was Yang who was down, receiving treatment. Celtic come forward again. It's with Ralston. Goodness knows when this is going to finish. We're 8 minutes away from the hour here as Bernardo picks up little ball in field, which will be dumped away by Winter, out for a Celtic throw. Indeed, there is the half-time whistle. And it is goalless here in Glasgow. Celtic left frustrated, as they were. I mean, this is a side that was averaging 3 goals a game last season. Drew a blank on Wednesday in Champions League qualifying. They've drawn a blank in the opening, 52 minutes that was played in the first half here. And Amura had the ball in the net. He was ruled out for offside. Yamada had an effort which was ruled out for offside. He then had a header tipped over by Prior. He made an even better save from Yang in stoppage time there at the end of the first half. David Martindale will be the happier manager. So far so good for them. At the interval at Celtic Park, it's Celtic 0, Livingston 0.
Rangers. So we'll get to the half-time reports for you, and I'll give you the latest results, the latest scores right across the country in the next couple of minutes on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland.
On your radio,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. We'll give you all the half-time scores. Let's start at Celtic Park, a commentary match. Celtic are home to Livingston. Let's hear from Pat Bonner and Liam McLeod.
There can't be many clubs across world football who have had such unbridled and unprecedented success in recent years, whose supporters are calling for the board to be sacked. And once again, that was a song being sung, a chant being sung by the Celtic supporters as the half-time whistle approached. They are being held by Livingston. No goals in the game. It's been another performance of few opportunities, really, just a couple of efforts on target, though Livy have it to rely on a world-class save from Jerome Prior just as we headed towards the whistle there. Outstanding bit of goalkeeping to deny Yang, who headed with power, but Prior knocked it on to the underside of the bar and perhaps deserves luck as Livingston cleared their lines after that because of the brilliance of the save Shinyamada making his first start at the ball in the net early on. It was ruled out for offside before he had a header tipped over by Prior, but that save from Yang was quite incredible. One of the saves of the season, and this is just match day 3. Livingston have offered the square root of nothing in an attacking sense, but defensively they've been sound. They've had to survive the substitution of Shane Blaney, who went off injured, but Paki Bonner is still drooling at that bit of goalkeeping from Jerome Prior as we move towards half-time. It was simply outstanding, and he deserves his clean sheet at the interval here, doesn't he?
He does, for that save alone. Brilliant save, moved his feet really well. He's got a wee bit lucky, of course, when you have to make a save from about 6 yards, when the header's almost thumped at you and you just stick up a hand and it comes off the crossbar, but he deserves it. Well done. But I think the big talking point here today is that Celtic have not been creative. They have not. I can't see it. I can't see Nygren being down the right-hand side. I think he'll change that probably in the second half and bring Forrest on. They haven't been able to cut Livingston up in any way. Livingston's performed well, nice and strong, physically organised, done their job, but that a home team here, you've got to create more chances from the amount of possession they've had.
I mean, a good start to the season themselves, Livingston, 4 points out of the first 6 available, and they are frustrating the champions. Another ball of frustration in Glasgow's East End. Half-time, Celtic 0, Livingston 0.
Let's get to Tynecastle. Hearts against Motherwell. There for us is Alan Preston.
Then it's Hearts 0, Motherwell 1. Hearts are getting a run around in that opening 45 minutes. The goal came in 22 minutes and clearly one that they've looked at. Hearts bring everyone back in the penalty box. It was a short corner taken. It was rolled square to Slattery, and his shot from the edge of the box took a wicked deflection, giving Clark absolutely no chance. Motherwell just outpassed Hearts in that opening period, but Hearts had a chance with 2 minutes before half-time. Shankland to Kabore, his shot sort of scuffed, but well saved by Ward. Hearts need to make changes at half-time. Wouldn't be surprised if Braga's on. Half-time score, Hearts 0, Motherwell 1.
Thank you to Alan Preston. Let's get to Rugby Park. Kilmarnock at home to Dundee, and there for us is Chick Young.
Yes, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0. I won't be filing this one under thriller at the moment, I have to say. We've had one controversial moment in the first half. There was a goal chalked off. Dundee thought they'd got ahead. It was a touch eventually from Joe Wesley over the line, but BR was called into play. VAR this afternoon here is Andy Dallas, and he decided, VAR decided, that the Murray was Simon Murray was in offside position, the build up to the goal, so it was chalked off, which means it's still 0-0. It's been a half really of 2 quarters, I would say. I think that Dundee had the better of the game, getting forward. Jan Danda on his debut for the club, getting down the left hand side with powerful runs, some comfortable football from the visitors as well. I do like the touch of one or two of their players. Jay Wright's got himself. Callum Jones looks comfortable on the ball as well, but then towards the end of the half, Kilmarnock really got a little bit of a grip in it, a couple of chances, half chances really, and the kind of growing cult hero in Marcus Dackers has caused a bit of torment for the Dundee defence, threatened on a couple of occasions. It still though has, as a football match, really to ignite, to be honest with you. We could do with a goal here at Rugby Park, and of course and the big visiting support, and well, Dundee fans have made their way down the road. They wanted the dark blues, but the home support are desperate for Kelly to take the lead. Half time at Rugby Park, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0.
So in the Premiership at half-time, Celtic 0, Livingston 0, Hearts 0, Motherwell 1, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0. Tomorrow on Sports, we have St Mirren at home to Rangers. We are covering 3 games for you on Openal Mics in the Championship today. Let's get to Perth. St Johnstone home to Arbroath, and hear from Willie Miller.
Again at half-time here at St Johnstone 1, Arbroath 0, and the home side have dominated. First 10 minutes it was pretty even, but they then took control of the game. First opportunity, Rhys McClear down the right hand side, these shots dragged across the face of the Arbroath goal past the post. McPake then puts Sidibe in as well down the left hand side. He gets it onto his right foot. You can see exactly what he's trying to do, curl it towards the far post, but he mishits it. It comes off his ankle, and it's quite an easy take for the goalkeeper. McPake again down this left hand side. An awful lot of the attacks were coming down that left hand side, and he drags one into the near post, but again it's an easy save, creating opportunities but not really looking lethal. And the goal itself came so easily. 31 minutes, it's a corner from the right hand side. Tumulty just he just lobs it into the middle of the goal, and there is Big Jack Baird, no one marking him. He just rises up and the forehead and loops it into the back of the net to give St Johnstone that very deserved lead. Svedberg had another opportunity down the right hand side again, lacking the quality of the finish, drags it across the face of the goal, and that chance was gone. Only one opportunity for Arbroath. Ryan Dow late in the first half, he has a long range speculative effort that Stewart took very easily. So here at McDermott Park, it's a comfortable half-time scoreline for the home side. St Johnstone 1, Arbroath 0.
It's far from comfortable for the home side in Dingwall. Ross County at home to Partick Thistle. Let's hear from Ian Auld.
It sure is, Kenny, half-time where Partick Thistle have the lead and fully deserving of it. The home side challenged by Don Cowie to go out and prove they are better than their opening 2 league games suggests, and they almost started so well. Akio Wright hit the crossbar from a Len O'Sullivan corner 3 minutes in, but the Jags responded by taking control of the first half. Mark Wilson's men tested Ross Laidlaw with a close-range Tony Watt header before Logan Chalmers saw his effort saved low down to the keeper's left-hand side. But the county number 1 helpless with the opening goal. Ben Stanway allowed plenty time and space, and his excellent 25-yard strike found the bottom right-hand corner of Laidlaw's net. The forward line of Thistle have been excellent throughout. Only downside for Mark Wilson is his side haven't scored more. Half-time, Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 1.
Thanks, Ian. Let's now hear from Rory Loy. Rory is watching Morton against Ayr United.
Yes, indeed, Kenny. All 3 games in the Championship sit at 1-0, and it's Morton who are on the correct side of that scoreline here at Capello. They lead Ayr by 1-0 thanks to a Eamon Brophy penalty. It was a scrappy opening 10 minutes. Marco Roos, after 12 minutes, finally created a chance when he went down the left and found Curtis Main in the box. His flick, however, was saved at the front post by Storer. On 25 minutes, the penalty came along. It was O'Halloran down the right-hand side. His cross hit against Kevin Holt's arm, which I thought looked harsh, potentially his supporting arm. However, Don Robertson felt it was enough to give a penalty, and Eamon Brophy stepped up and hit it low to Mitchell's right for 1-0. Half chances came along for Curtis Main, Scott McMahon, George Oakley. Russ was playing very well in the middle of the pitch. However, Ayr were struggling to create clear-cut chances. Another chance did come in 39 minutes, across from the right this time. Main got on the front of it again, just past the front post, but he wasn't able to direct it on target. Kerr Robertson then sprayed a lovely 70-yard diagonal pass out to the right-hand side for O'Halloran. He cut it back to Brophy. However, his shot was pretty weak and was easily saved by Mitchell. Last kick of the half, a lovely little 1-2 between Moffat and Brophy. Back to Moffat. He curled one just past the post of Mitchell, which means at half-time it is Morton 1, Ayr United 0.
So in the Championship, Airdrie 0, Queen's Park 0, Morton 1, Ayr United 0, Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 1, St Johnstone 1, Arbroath 0. In League 1, the half-time scores: Alloa Athletic 0, Hamilton Accies 0, East Fife 1, Kelty Hearts 1, Montrose 0, Inverness Cally Thistle 2, Peterhead 2, Cove Rangers 0, Stenhousemuir 0, Queen of the South 0, and in League 2, Annan Athletic 0, Dumbarton 2, Elgin City 0, Edinburgh City 2, Spartans 0, Forfar 0, Stirling Albion 1, East Kilbride 3, Stranraer 1, Clyde 1, and in England it finished at lunchtime: Manchester City 0, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Half-time scores: Bournemouth 1, Wolves 0, Brentford 1, Aston Villa 0, Burnley 0, Sunderland 0, and 5:30 start. Arsenal are at home to Leeds United. So Alan Preston, you're back underway at Tynecastle. We'll get to Alan in just 1 minute. I'm sure I saw some substitutions getting made there in that game. We'll bring Alan to the programme in just a minute's time, but they're underway there at Tynecastle. The players just coming out, ready to resume at Rugby Park, and of course there was that delay at the end of the first half at Celtic Park. Neil McCann, it's really interesting to see how long Livingston can hold out for there, and if that is the case deep into the second half, the reaction from the home fans.
I mean, it might just strengthen Brendan Rodgers' case of getting business done, particularly in those wide areas where it's so important to break teams down that are sitting in. But as Rachel touched on, I'm not surprised at the endeavour and strength of Livingston's performance just now. Tactically, Davies a smart guy in terms of his setup, but sooner or later that experience he's got in the back line you would have to think that not only physically but mentally they'll tire, and Celtic continually to probe in terms of those midfield runners. There's got so many midfielders in the team, they'll all like to make those runs and breaking lines, and sooner or later you think that they'll break through that Livingston defence. But the longer it goes, of course, the fans will get more frustrated, because it's just playing into what we've been speaking about the lack of firepower in that final third, particularly the guys that they've lost.
Right, let's go to Alan Preston. Alan Preston, we've got you back at Tynecastle.
Hearts made 2 changes, but it makes no difference. It's a second goal. Maswanisi with a brilliant goal across Clark into the bottom corner, and ironically enough, Tam Cowan's here, and he tapped me on the shoulder and says, this is like watching Brazil 1970. He's not far away.
Right, fantastic stuff. We'll get back to Alan. We'll start going around the grounds again. The second half's just getting underway. So once again, a choice of listening on BBC Radio Scotland. Full coverage of Celtic against Livingston with Liam McLeod and Pat Bonner, tuned to Radio Scotland Extra, online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland, BBC Sounds and 810 medium wave. If it's open all mics you want, you'll find us on 92 to 95 FM, online and BBC Sounds.
This
is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome back from Celtic Park. We are just a couple of minutes away from the action getting back underway here. Of course, there was that substantial stoppage time, ended up being 7 minutes at the end of the first half, so I think still a couple of minutes away from the teams making their way back out onto the pitch. As Celtic look to try and break down that Livingston defence. We're saying it's north of 80% possession that Celtic have had in the match. In fact, it finished after the first half at 84% possession in Celtic's favour.
It's incredible, Liam. 84%, and we've seen 2-3 chances created in that period. I know Neil was saying there at half-time that eventually, a midfielder will penetrate that Livingston as they get tired, but they haven't done enough of it. They haven't made the runs. The midfielders have not made the runs beyond. I know Livingston's playing deep; they're on their 18-yard line for a good part of the game, and the midfield four is sort of almost lined up across in front of them. But if you don't run beyond without the ball, you're not going to create opportunities. You're not going to create space. You're not going to create maybe that ball over the top, or somebody getting the ball into his feet in the pocket and getting space. And that is a real problem for me. And then when you're thinking about, well, okay, we want to penetrate in the wide areas, Yang do it maybe down the left-hand side, but then when you look at Negrin, he's not a winger for me. I'm looking at it every time he gets the ball, he's left-sided, and he'll come on the inside, and that's predictable. I don't mind coming on the inside if you can then the next time maybe go on the outside, but if you're coming on the inside all the time, then it's predictable, and that's the problem with Celtic. I really see from Celtic's perspective they will have to go to the bench here.
Had a little chat with Graham Carey down there, who's at Livingston. He can't play today, he's going to be back next week by all accounts, former Celtic player. Of course, Packy, he described his teammate Gio Trior's save as the best he's ever seen live.
I agree. Well, listen,
is that the best save you've seen? Like, you must have seen plenty.
No, I've seen plenty, and I'll put it down to a very, very, very good save. But I'm not going to say it's the best I've seen. I've seen others,
Get a bit older,
it's very hard to describe it.
To be fair.
Sometimes you need a bit of luck also when you've got to move, you have to get yourself into your body into the position, and then just hope the ball's going to like he's got 6 yards out. 6 yards out, so he ends up having to do something, just get your hand up, and if it hits off you, brilliant, and looks a fantastic save. But anyway, listen, he deserves it.
Well, you'll be hoping he can keep a clean sheet after that. Celtic are back out, Livingston back out. Celtic kick off going right to left in the green and white hoops. White shorts, white socks. Livingston in the yellow shirts with the black stripe across the chest. Black shorts, yellow socks with the black tops. Livy going from left to right towards the Lisbon Lions stand, which is the east end of Celtic Park, and left to right as we watch from the main stand here. We're up high above the visiting technical area. No changes for either team at the start, so Brendan Rodgers resisting the temptation to go to some of his stellar names that he's got in reserve. And here's Negrin at the edge of the Livy box, clear by Lawwell as he tried to knock it forward. It's Bernardo out to Ralston on that right-hand side, and then back it comes right of the centre circle for Murray. Low ball to the right for McCowan, onto the touchline for Nygren. Level with the edge of the D of the Livy box, pulls it back in field to Bernardo. To his left, it is Inamura. It's a poor ball. It was behind for the goal kick. Celtic of Schmeichel in goal. Ralston, Murray, Scales and Inamura. Engels, McCowan, Bernardo, Nygren, Yang and Yamada. Livingston with Prior in goal. Shane Blaney had to come off, so it's a back three. Now Finlayson, McGowan and Wilson. Lowell out on the right-hand side. Winter out on the left. Sila, Tate, Pittman and Bakila. And Bakila may as well not be on the pitch. You're not seeing him at all in the match. I guess he's coming back to help out at set plays that his team's defending. And Schmeichel picks up the ball. Now Nygren does brilliantly to get the ball in behind Winter. Going to go across his body. Now he's forced in field and switches it right to left for Yang. Steps in on his right. Yang encouraged to shoot, which he does. Prior away, but the rebound's tucked home by Nygren. And Celtic make the breakthrough in the second minute of the second half. Nygren on the rebound from Yang's effort. It was positive play by the South Korean. Prior made the initial save, but he could do nothing about the follow-up, and it is Celtic 1, Livingston 0.
Yeah, good play down the right-hand side from Nygren initially. He lets the ball run through him and deceives the wing back, and then he was away and he cut on the inside, linked up well on his left hand, he kept his run going, got himself into that back post, and when the shot came away, he was there to tap it into the back of the net. The goalkeeper, I'm looking at Livingston goalkeeper, it was a good strike, bit of pace on it from him, but he kind of goes to try to almost get his body behind the ball. It kind of bounces in front of him, and he wasn't able to knock it away into an area where you would expect maybe to tip it around the post or whatever, and it's just come back out into that danger area, and there was Nygren just find himself in that back post area just to tap the ball into the back of the net.
Yeah, and the goal stands as well. Nygren was all alone. There may well have been a hint of offside in it, but anyway, he's onside. The goal stands. Nygren has his second Celtic goal in back-to-back league games he's now scored, and it's prevented. Brendan Rodgers will be delighted with this. The board will be perhaps just as if not happier that that's gone in, because had this gone 10-15 minutes in the second half the way it was going in the first, and this place turns into a bit of a pit.
Yeah, and then he would have to make the changes, of course, and bring people off the bench, and he's very reluctant to bring them off too early. He might give them 15-20 minutes at the end just to get their legs going. He doesn't want any injuries. He wants them to be fresh. The key players that will all play against Kairat Alamati, so that takes the pressure off. You're absolutely right, Liam, and that's exactly what he wanted probably in the first half. Also, it didn't come, but he's got it now at the start of the second half. And of course, David Martindale will be so unhappy. Just all the good work that they've done in that first half, and suddenly now they find themselves at the start of the second half, vulnerable time, a goal down.
Yeah, that's the thing. They've not allowed themselves enough time to be set in the second half and build their way into the match. And now it's going to be interesting to see what he does about this, because they offered nothing going forward in that first half. That's going to have to change if they want to take something out of this match. The Celtic haven't lost a home match when scoring first in the Scottish Premiership since December 2015. So Livy, odds against that they were going to take anything today anyway, but particularly now, certainly when it comes to winning the football match. Finlayson has a throw-in on this near side, midway inside Celtic territory. Main stand, Livy right, in it comes, and it's headed away by Engels. Breaks back to Finlayson, and up and under, swept high into the Celtic box. Goes over the head of Ralston. Winter picks it up over on the left-hand side, stabs it in field to May, who can't control, goes under his left boot. Now Celtic come away with it, with Bernardo. Rolls it to his left for Engels. Poor touch from the £11 million man. He breaks to Macaulay Tate in the midfield. He gives it away though, and it's Inamura stabbing it forward to Nygren. Then Yamada couldn't dig it out, can control it. McGowan clears. Scales steps forward onto the ball. drives out to this left-hand side. Flicks it out to Arnie Engels, level the edge of the D of the Livy box. Poor ball, again, it's just not happening for him right now. Scales picks up the scraps though. Now it's back with Inamura, he switches it left to right of the centre circle for Dane Murray. Knocks it out to the right-hand touchline there for Nygren. Nygren infield, flicks it infield, it's the edge of the D where Pittman blocks it, breaks to Bernardo. Out to McCowan over on the right, May holding him off, and McCowan ends up running into the advertising in front of the North Stand. You won't want to see that back. And now it's Celtic with Bernardo. Out to that right-hand side, and then gets it back immediately from Ralston, goes back onto the edge of the centre circle for Scales. Now Engels, and then to Inamura, infield to Engels, now with Ralston, infield to Bernardo. Then the right football out to the right side for McCowan, looking for Ralston at the byline, chips it across. Prior gathers it as near post, and it stays Celtic 1, Livingston 0. We've played almost 52.
Yeah, it's kind of always very safe play from Celtic today. You know, that was a decent run to the byline by Anthony Ralston, a chip into the box, but just it's very kind of, you've got to take chances, you've got to take a bit of risk at times, you've got to try passes that maybe that isn't quite going to get there, but at least you've tried it. If you just keep passing the ball square all the time and taking no risk, then you're not going to create opportunities.
Engels for Celtic, out to Yang in space, level the 6-yard line, and it comes and into the side net it goes from Yamada, who attacked it at the near post.
Yeah,
good play by Celtic this time.
Yeah, better ball, that penetrating pass, of course, to get Yang away down the left-hand side, and he plays that ball in first time, and there was Yamada getting across the defender just outside the post, and as he got good contact on the ball. If he was probably inside the post, he might have had a chance of scoring. Right, so if you missed it before we got back underway here, Motherwell 2-0 up at Tynecastle. That's when Issei scoring early in the second half. Celtic 1-0 up here, also scoring early in the second half through Nygren, goalless Kilmarnock Dundee. Partick Thistle 2-0 up at Ross County. Game in Dingwall, Logan Chalmers has added a second in that one. Celtic come again, Nygren out wide right to Ralston. Nygren attacking it in the box, and it bounces behind for a goal kick off the Swede after May's challenge. There have been more goals scored across the SPFL. Dumbarton are now 4-0 up away to Annan in that one, so they were 2-0 up at the break. They now lead 4-0, approaching the hour mark of that one in League 2. So that's it as far as the second half goals, I think, are concerned. There are plenty of opportunities for you to check out the score lines at any time at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. That bounces out for a Celtic throw in midway inside their own half. In fact, Motherwell have gone 3-0 up at Hearts. Wow.
They won their first 2 games league season, beaten in the League Cup on penalties by St Mirren last week, but Motherwell have gone 3-0 up at Tynecastle. Stunning scoreline, that one.
Not half, and that puts a little bit of pressure back on Hearts again, and you know, changing the manager, getting new players in, spending money, and it just,
yeah, and all amidst a backdrop of big ambition. Hearts 0, Motherwell 3. Here comes Celtic. McCowan's chip ball into the box, bounces behind for the corner. You kind of feel right now, we approach 55 minutes with Celtic 1-0 up, that this is going to be a procession now. Then it comes towards Scales, it's flicked to the edge of the box. Bernardo goes down. Was he fouled? No, says Kevin Clancy's. Nygren lifts it for goal, drops over the bar onto the roof of the net, and it stays Celtic 1, Livingston 0. Yeah. Very difficult to envisage a scenario here, Packy, where Livingston emerge with anything from this match.
Well, they have to change a little bit what they're doing, I think, to get into the game. They're playing obviously still with the back 3, the back 5, you could say, and they've just got to get players a wee bit higher up the pitch and take a wee bit more risk. and see if they can put a bit more pressure on that Celtic defence, because Scales and Murray is just strolling through the game. Nothing's really affecting them at all from Livingston's perspective, and they've got to change that if they're going to try to get a result here.
McGowan's header takes it back to his keeper. Celtic fans want a free kick for a foul on, a supposed foul on Yamada. That third Motherwell goal, incidentally, scored by Emmanuel Longalo, adding to the strikes from Slattery and Maswinise, either side of the break. Still 0-0 at Rugby Park, Kilmarnock Dundee. St Mirren Rangers to come tomorrow. The other two fixtures scheduled for this weekend were postponed to allow Hibs and Aberdeen to focus on their European playoff second legs on Thursday coming. Celtic looking to their bench. Daisen Maeda is coming on, Callum McGregor is coming on, and James Forrest is coming on.
Yeah, last half hour, and just to give them a run out, and he'll be hoping at this point in time that it doesn't take too much out of their legs and they don't get any injuries, the ones that are coming off the bench, because they are sure starters for the game in Kazakhstan.
And James Forrest starts that one, Packy?
Well, I don't think there'd be any other option, I'll be perfectly honest, on the right-hand side at the moment, that's the point. So I think, Forrest will start, McGregor will start, Maeda will start, all of those players just coming on the bench now. So McCavin's hobbling off, he's got an injury. I think he got an injury early on in this game, and then he's obviously hit the track later on, but I think it's the injury from earlier in the game.
And you can hear the substitutions being announced in the background. McCowan, Bernardo and Yamada coming off. Forrest, McGregor and Maeda are on.
Well, we don't even have to describe it where they're going to play. That's for sure.
Right, so triple change for Celtic, who are 1-0 up. Approaching the hour mark here. Livingston on the ball with Danny Wilson, former Rangers player, of course. Then finds McGowan. Goes back to his keeper, and Prior hits it first time with the left foot. Relatively benign day, slight breeze in the air, grey skies above here in Glasgow. In late summer, match day 3 in the Premiership. Celtic 1, Livingston 0, and Ralston with a throw in midway inside his own half, pulls it back to Dane Murray. Squares it to Scales, left-footed ball out to the left side for Yang. And Amura went in the overlap. Yang comes in field instead and pokes it to McGregor. And turned as likewise to Ralston, then out to Forrest on the far side. Now Nygren. Nygren's cross comes in, headed away by McGowan. And then in Amura efforts, kind of scuffed, bounces off a couple of players and eventually back into the grasp of Prior. He pulls it forward, but he's just giving it straight back to Celtic, and it's Scales to Namura to McGregor, and then left to right of the centre circle for Ralston, back to Murray, forward to McGregor, and then to Ralston, out to Forrest, who moves infield towards the angle of the box. They're going to work the 1-2, he gets it back, Forrest at the byline, low ball across, and it's just knocked wide at that near post by Nygren. He's got himself into some good positions as Benjamin Nygren, and I think he might well be getting the corner out of that.
Yeah, but that's his position, Liam. Obviously Forrest is now out on the right-hand side. He's playing now inside right channel. He's able to make runs. He's able to, when he gets the ball, it's not always coming on his left side. He can now play it out to Forrest and then make his run into that area beyond the defence. So I think that is his position. There's no doubt about it for me. I haven't watched him today.
Yeah, well, he scored his goal before those changes, of course, as it comes in. Scales tries to flick it to the near post. Livingston clear, only as far as McGregor. Out to Forrest on the right-hand side. About to hit the hour mark. Low ball across into the 6-yard box is cleared by Wilson for Livingston, and out for a Celtic throw-in wide on the right-hand side. Level with the Livy penalty spot. It's going to be left by Engels for Ralston. Is it short to Nygren? Back to Ralston. Will certainly be in the Scotland squad, I would have thought. That's announced by Steve Clarke on Monday. Probably start the games as well. So he comes in towards Yang. It's flicked away by Finlayson. Well, this just keeps coming back at Livy. They cannot get out. They couldn't get out in the first half, but at least they had a clean sheet to protect. That's gone. Scales with the ball. It's a good one. The goalkeeper wasn't sure at all, and he's delighted he didn't find a Celtic player. The Forest can rehash it and find McGregor. Low ball, left-hand side of the box for Yang. Challenged by Lawwell's a good one. And now Sela can come away with it. What's he going to be able to do with it? Away from one, can't quite get away from McGregor, and all he can do is flick it out off the pitch and out for a Celtic throw-in.
Yeah, just Scales showing his versatility there. He goes up on that left-hand side as is almost like a winger, and he puts a brilliant ball in. I thought the goalkeeper probably should have come for it because there was nobody going to get on the end of it, and he had all the space to come and take it, but he didn't. But it was a lovely out-swinging cross.
Ball in, chance, Sneegren looking for his second. It just evaded him though, and Prior holds on. His first touch let him down, and it stays Celtic 1, Livingston 0 on 61.5.
Yeah, I thought he should have just volleyed it with his left foot. It's just coming onto his left foot, but he takes his touch and the ball gets away from him.
Livy are coming forward here, would you believe, to the edge of the box, but Murray's able to nick in there ahead of Pokila, who was running forward trying to get onto it. Hearts have a goal back in that game. Incidentally, Harry Milne has scored it. Hearts 1, Motherwell 3, as May picks up for Livy and touches it out to Pittman. There's Silla, the challenge from Engels, how to play it goes. In fact, the free kick's been given to Livingston here. Now this is arguably the only way Livingston are going to get any kind of anything going in front of goal, and it's from a set play not far from the Celtic box, and they've just been awarded the free kick by Kevin Clancy about 8 or 9 yards from the near side touchline.
Yeah, and they've got the 3 centre halves who've gone up into the box. Mosilla's also a big lad. Yeah, he's gone in there too, so they've got a bit of height in the box. It's all about the delivery now, and Celtic have got to defend this and defend it well.
2 goals in 4 minutes. Ayr United now lead Morton at Capello. Holt and McAllister the scorers. Livy have a free kick into the Celtic box. It comes. It's off a Celtic head. Schmeichel with his eyes on it punches it half away, and Maida hooks it away to safety. Wasn't decisive from Schmeichel, though there were a lot of bodies in the way.
Yeah, he wasn't sure should he come and try and catch it. He'd made up his mind that he was going to punch it, and he just had to create a little bit of space for himself, and then he just punched it down into the middle of bodies, and eventually it was cleared. So the opportunity for Livingston is gone, and for Celtic to be relieved.
Former Livy man Jason Holt has put St Johnstone 2-0 up at home to Arbroath in the Championship. As I said, Morton 1, Ayr United 2. Some turnaround for the Honest Men. Ross County have won back against Partick Thistle. Thistle continue to lead 2-1. Celtic lead 1-0 here. 63.5 on the clock, and they are coming forward again. Forrest moving in field to the right of the D. Passes it short to McGregor, who goes out wide right there for Ralston. Back to McGregor. In field to Engels. Forward to Nygren. Back to Engels into the box with his ball in on the slide. Goes high over the bar, and it'll be a goal kick to Livingston almost in 64 minutes. Celtic 1, Livy 0, and there will be changes for the visitors. Yeah. Next, by the looks of things.
Yeah, he has to do something, but listen, he'll be happy enough that he's gone into this stage of the game. I know he's 1-0 down, but it gives him a little bit of a chance in the last maybe 20 minutes of this game to change it around a little bit and try and create a wee bit of pressure onto Celtic. If he comes away here with anything at all, a draw would be great for him.
I'll run you through the scores across the SPFL in the next stoppage in play. Winter tries to win it back off Forrest on the right. No luck for him though. Forrest has it, finds Ralston, who finds McGregor. And he just knocks it back there to Dane Murray, who finds Scales left to the centre circle. His ball straight to Silla. Stretching his legs here, Morsilla goes down, wins the free kick, left to the centre circle. Fouled by Callum McGregor, who's got his arms outstretched in protest.
I thought he was away from Callum McGregor actually. He kind of almost went down. He kind of knew that maybe that he didn't have the pace to eventually keep going, so he's gone down. But he's got himself another free kick for Livingston. This time 10 yards inside the half, but they will again put up the big guys, and they'll play it in on top of that Celtic defence. They're going to make the changes, Liam.
Yeah, and the first one will see Winter replaced by Conor McLennan. Former Aberdeen player, was at Ayr United last season. The other change, we'll see Teti Yengi come on, and he is going to replace Pokila, who signed a new contract on Thursday, did Yengi. He comes on. So, Premiership, Celtic 1, Livingston 0 here. Hearts 1, Motherwell 3, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0. And Stevie May appears to take this free kick. High line by Celtic, and I think there'll be an offside here against McGowan. The flag hasn't gone up yet, but yes, now it does. McGowan went too early. Celtic free kick. Championship, Ayr Geonians 1, Queen's Park 0. Morton 1, Ayr United 2. Ross County 1, Partick Thistle 2. St Johnstone now 3-0 up at home to Arbroath. And that's just gone in, so Saints 3, Arbroath 0. League 1, Alloa 1, Hamilton 0. East Fife 2, Kelty Hearts 1. Montrose 0, Cali Thistle 2. Peterhead 2, Cove Rangers 1. So Cove have managed to pull one back in that one at Balmoor. Stenhousemuir 0, Queen of the South 0. League 2, Annan 1, Dumbarton 4. So Annan have got one back. Elgin City 1, Edinburgh City 2. Spartans 1, Forfar 0. Stirling Albion 1, East Kilbride 3. And Stranraer 1, Clyde 1. bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland for those scorelines as they stand at any time you want. Sports scene highlights to come this evening on the BBC Scotland channel of today's 3 Premiership matches. Tomorrow it's St Mirren against Rangers. Celtic on the ball midway inside their own half with Forest. 67 on the clock here. One-way traffic.
Yeah, there's just a better tempo to the game since he's made those changes for Celtic. Better fluency.
Yeah, he's making another one shortly as well. It's Johnny Kenny down there, Packy.
Yeah.
Dean Murray for Celtic to Ralston down the line for Forest. Looking to return it to Nygren. Level with the Livy penalty spot. Comes back the angle. Chip ball in. Delicately played to Yang. Left hand side of the box. Looking for Engels. Cut out by Pittman. Comes back to Yang. Across it comes. Opportunity here. Potentially for Forest on his left side. Breaks to Engels. His effort's blocked. Livingston survive for now. I guess there's always a chance at 1-0. Doesn't look likely from open play for Livingston, but at 2-0 it would be done. The change will be made. Yang will be replaced by Johnny Kenny.
Yeah, and Maeda will go out on the left-hand side, and Johnny going through the middle.
Do you expect Johnny Kenny to still be at Celtic? I think he'll be a Celtic player, but do you expect him to go out on loan again before the end of the month?
Well, I thought he would do, but I think that's down to maybe them not bringing in another striker. But I think he'll be very happy that he's training every day with the squad. He's there. He's got a wee chance. He's coming off the bench. Started against Falkirk, so he'll be very happy that he's had that opportunity.
It's back with Schmeichel using his feet, the edge of a 6-yard box, and he ushers it out to Nygren on the far side. Cuts in field. Under no real pressure, he's able to knock it to Mai. That's a lovely touch forward there. Inamura has it. The left angle of the box. Gets the cross in. It's too close to Prior, who gathers. And it stays Celtic 1, Livingston 0. 21 of the 90 to play.
Yeah, good initial play. Maeda very sharp, getting into the ball and flicking it on for Inamura to get himself into a great position. Just that the cross wasn't good enough.
So now with Yengi on the right-hand side taking on Scales. Knocks it straight off Scales. Yengi is still battling for it. The referee doesn't see it as a foul as he brings Inamura down. Yengi finds May, fires it across, and behind for the corner by Dane Murray. Livingston's first of the afternoon, and their first proper real attack of note from open play for them.
Yeah, and listen, he did well, the big guy, just holding people off. Yes, it could have been a foul, but the referee let it go. That's not anything to do with him, and then he got good support down the right-hand side, and they've got their corner, they've got the big guys up again. Yengi himself is a big man.
Stevie May to take in front of the Livingston fans off to our right. What can he do here? It's been hard work for them, and it comes. And there's a header down towards goal by Finlayson into the ground, but it skips up and favours Schmeichel, who holds on, and he immediately fires it forward. And then Kenny battling for it and winning it off Tate. It's Johnny Kenny. Forrest bounding into the box in support as Kenny wins the corner only off Lowell, but it's really good positive play by the Irish striker.
Yeah, that's what I like, and you know, when I talk about Alameda, the one thing I would like to see him do is think a little bit more when the ball is in the Celtic. Here's an opportunity maybe for Celtic. We'll come back to it.
Yeah, they've taken the short corner. It's worked back there to Namura, to McGregor, back to Namura. Now with Nygren left hand side of the 6-yard box. Engels across. Nygren can make it too, and does! Side foot finish, top right corner. Absolutely no doubting the quality of the finish. And you just knew he was finding the back of the net there. And that will surely lock up the points for the champions. It is Celtic 2, Livingston 0. Nygren with both.
Yeah, and it just falls to him beautifully inside the box. He takes it with his right foot, and I think the right foot is the one that he likes to stand on. But he's hit it, and it goes high up into the top left-hand corner. And just looking on the replay here, the ball's played. Nice little bit of combination of play around the edge of the box. Initially, the goalkeeper again taps it out. Possible offside check from VAR on this one.
Yeah, I heard the announcement in the background. Stephen McLean's the VAR. By the way, Hearts are back to within 1 against Motherwell. Motherwell going to toss away a 3-0 lead. It was 3-2, and I can only imagine it'll be up the Alamo.
There'll be some atmosphere inside there at the moment.
Goal stands here. It is 2-0.
Yeah, game over.
Claudio Braga got that second Hearts goal, incidentally. 2-0 Celtic here. Points surely safe now. Finlayson in field to take. Good finish from Nygren, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a great finish.
It's a similar goal, as you say. Prior's kind of put it on a plate for him, but
yeah, and it came from the throw out from Schmeichel to Johnny Kenny, you know, to get the corner, just alive and sharp, and you know, thinking about what am I going to do when that ball is in the Celtic box as a striker. I'm going to be on. I'm going to make a run long before maybe that ball comes to me, and that's what I'm saying. I mentioned about Alameda. I think he waits and he doesn't make them decisions early enough, and that's something as a young player that he's got to learn. I know Alan Press was talking about, you know, Jimmy Vardy coming in and helping him to all that type of stuff. It's not so much stability. It's the sort of kind of almost understanding of what he has to do to become a really top striker.
Celtic have that trip to Kazakhstan to come on Tuesday, but their next league game is across the city here at Ibrox, but they appear set to head there on the back of 3 straight wins at the start of their latest title defence. As we know, there is a possibility, depending on what happens in Paisley tomorrow, but if St Mirren were to win that, Celtic could go 10 points clear of Rangers after just 4 league fixtures, which would be quite remarkable. So Lewis Smith comes on to replace Tate for Livingston. The carrot certainly going to be there, Packy, very least to go 7 clear, which would be already a massive gap with so few matches having been played.
No, absolutely. What you can't do is allow Celtic, if you're going to challenge them, you can't allow them to get a head start, that's for sure. And that could happen that way. Then again, it could be pulled back. You're never sure.
Well, we've been pretty sure, 13 out of the last 14 seasons, that Celtic aren't going to be caught when they get up ahead of steam. Stevie May is yellow carded for a foul on Engels on this near side. Engels is off the pitch to receive treatment here. His teammates wanted to play on, even though they're down to 10 at the moment.
Yeah, he's just dived in, hasn't he? Stevie May, the ball's got loose, and you know, Engels is coming across and to try to intercept, and he's just lunged at it and just caught him that late. I don't think there was anything intent, and it was just a late one from Stevie May, but he goes into the referee's book. Did he put him into the book anymore?
I think he did. He was
a long time writing in players' names into books.
Yeah, I don't think that's gone to artificial intelligence just yet. It's only a matter of time. Sports Sound here, BBC Radio Scotland, on Extra 810 medium wave on digital and online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. Celtic 2, Livingston 0. 15 minutes of the 90 still to play. And there's Inamura down the line there and his compatriot Maida. Back to Inamura, and now with McGregor. Then Murray forward to Ralston. Benjamin Negrin will be delighted. It's 3 goals in 3 games, not 2 today, and he's on a hat-trick, and he's on the ball in the box, tries to lay it back to Kenny, it's blocked. Breaks to McGregor.
Yeah, since Forrest has come on and given him that sort of wide player to...
Oh, Maida's done brilliantly to put it across!
Johnny Kenny.
And it's finished by Kenny! Just a few yards from goal. It was right in front of him. It's an outstanding bit of play on the left to set it up. And Johnny Kenny thunders the ball past a stricken Prior, and all of a sudden it's oh so simple for the champions. It is Celtic 3, Livingston 0.
Yeah, just a 1v1 situation with Maeda. Brilliant, just a little bit of trickery, beats the player and then just wraps his foot around it across that 6-yard box, and there was Johnny Kenny. And he keeps his eye on it and volleys it into the back of the net. He'll be delighted to get his goal, but that's much better from Celtic in the second half. Since they made the changes, the tempo's gone up, the passing's gone up, the movement's gone up, and the quality of the players, of course, has gone up too. So from that perspective, yeah, they'll be very, very happy this moment. And 3-0 up.
Yeah, and a first Celtic Park goal for the big man from Sligo up front there, Packy, as well. It'll be good to feel good about that. He did score at Pittodrie towards the end of last season, but to get one here will mean a lot to him, I would have thought.
That's always good, and again, in that position, centre forward, you're in the middle of the goal. That's where you want to score your goals from sometimes, and it was put on a plate for him. Just keep his eye on it, keep his volley down, and in the back of the net. And that's what you want to do. Go and celebrate.
How Adam Ida would have loved that opportunity there right in front of the goal. Here comes Celtic again. Nygren trying to get it in behind Finlayson. Dilly-dallying on it. Kenny's there again as a swipe at it. It's blocked. In fact, might well be a foul there. Indeed it is. Free kick to Livingston. It's Kenny. He was desperately trying to make contact with the ball. He's ended up making contact with the Livingston defender.
Yeah, and
it
listen,
will be a free kick to Livy.
Yeah, the other sharpness of Maeda, you know, the ball drops into the box and he's onto it like a flash, and you know, he had no right to get to it, but just because of his speed and sharpness, he gets onto it and almost creates another opportunity for Johnny Kenny. But I think they're going to go to the bench again, Celtic.
Yeah, and it's a like-for-like change because young Colby Donovan is coming on, 18 years of age. As he replaces Ralston. Take the rest of the game off. You just wonder, Packy, if the right-back berth is going to be Ralston's for an extended period, or if they dip back into the transfer market, given Alistair Johnston's going to be out for anywhere between 2 and 3 months.
Yeah, listen, he got a knock there, Anthony Ralston, earlier, and that's why he's probably taken him off. But listen, Anthony never lets the club down or the team down. Always does his bit. And plays, and he stayed around the club too when he probably could have maybe left and found a team that he could play week in, week out with. But let's see how this other young man comes on.
It's his debut. It's his debut, so he's going to get the last 11 minutes plus stoppages.
Yeah, and Liam, I'm all for young players getting an opportunity. You know, we've seen young players get an opportunity over the years. They've come in and haven't quite made it, and they've been sort of sold on and that. Doak is one of them examples. He's gone, of course, we're talking about bringing him back again, but he was a player that didn't really get the opportunity. Maybe a bit early in his career, but
the thing is, if they're good enough, they'll play. That's the bottom line. And Celtic and many other clubs have been accused of not promoting their youth. I think Tom has been a vocal critic of that, but I mean, you look at the players. If you're good enough, Callum McGregor, academy graduate, look at the career he's had. James Forrest on the pitch right now, another Tierney back at the club. It's given away by Celtic at the back, and a chance for Silla. He's into the box, chance for Livy. Brilliant challenge from Murray. He slides in just as Silla was pulling the trigger there, and he's ended up hurting the Livingston player. It really should have been 2-1. Silla just waited too long. Celtic got away with that one there. It stays 2-0, and we are ticking now into the final 10 minutes of the 90. In fact, we have just done that. Celtic come forward. Kenny plays it off McGowan inside the Livy box. McGowan on the far side is fouled by Engels, and that will be a free kick to Livingston. That was an opportunity for Livy, but you can take nothing away from the last-ditch defending of Dane Murray.
Well, he had to, because it was having to give the ball away initially. You know, it was a bad pass trying to play it through the centre of the pitch, and it was intercepted. And but you could see Mo Salah, yes, it was a chance, but he doesn't have that pace anymore to get away from people, and he just took an extra. But it was a really good tackle for Dane Murray to get back in and get the block in, and saves his team from losing a goal, because I think if he had an opportunity to strike, it would have been probably a goal. You were right.
If I was to tell you there's been another goal at Tynecastle, who do you think it would be for?
Hearts.
Correct.
Wow.
Claudio Braga has just equalised. Motherwell were 3-0 up. Two of their goals came in the second half, yet they've been pegged back to 3-3. Hearts 3, Motherwell 3. Highlights of that will be quite something tonight. That game's not finished yet. They are a few minutes ahead of us, but Sports Scene tonight, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. Highlights of this one here. You don't want to miss that one. 6 goals and counting in the capital.
I'm sure Alan Preston will be doing his dinger on that one.
He'll be very balanced, I'm sure, in his delivery of what's going on at Tynecastle over on Open All Mics, which continues on FM and sounds. Teti Yengi for Livingston, who are up the pitch here on a rare occasion. And a foul in Callum McGregor. The angle of the Celtic box, right angle, and that will be a free kick to the home team. And many supporters heading out to try and beat the traffic, because they know that the points are safely locked away, Packy.
Yeah, they are
3-0.
now. They are now. You know, when it was 0-0, very flat, crowd were just a little bit getting a little bit frustrated.
It's been more like it, do you think?
Much better.
Because
better tempo to the game, moving, passing, and obviously players who are creative in that final third. You know, Forrest coming on, Maeda coming on. You know, those are the ones that can go and beat the player and create opportunities.
See Peter Lawwell and Michael Nicholson down to my left, both smiling. Well, Michael Nicholson certainly is at the moment. It's amazing when Celtic are leading the match and comfortable in the game. There's no sack the board chance. As that long one comes through to Kenny, goalkeeper does just enough. Kenny was in there. It stays 3-0 Celtic as we approach 83. But yeah, the fans have been quieting down in that respect, thanks to the goals that their team have been scoring.
Yeah, and listen, today was a bit of a risk, making 8 changes, which is a quite incredible amount of changes for any team to be able to make in the first place. But they made it. It was a risk, and the risk has always paid off.
It's another chance for Celtic. Low ball across there by Donovan, cut out, and it will go out for a Celtic throw-in over on the far side. So Celtic will be maintaining their 100% start to the season. Will Hearts be doing that? 3-3 going into the final couple of minutes of the 90 there. In fact, they've just gone into stoppage time. And the score at 3-3. I'll keep you up to date with that one. As goalless Kilmarnock Dundee. Championship, Airdrieonians 1, Queen's Park 1, Morton 1, Ayr United 2, Ross County 1, Partick Thistle 2, St Johnstone 3, Arbroath 0, League 1, Alloa 1, Hamilton 0, East Fife 2, Kelty Hearts 1, Montrose 0, Cally Thistle 2, Peterhead 3, Cove Rangers 1, and Stennismere 0, Queen of the South 0. League 2, Annan 1, Dumbarton 4, Elgin 2, Edinburgh City 3, Spartans 1, Forfar 0, Stirling Albion 2, East Kilbride 3, Stranraer 1, Clyde 1. Here comes Celtic. Nygren's cross ball in, looking for Maida. Prior gets fingertips onto it. Maida picks up the scratch, turns it back the way, fired across, and then fired at goal by Forrest on the right foot, straight to the keeper who holds on. And it stays Celtic 3, Livingston 0.
Yeah, Celtic very comfortable now, aren't they? They're moving the ball, and Forrest that time just almost back to goal, turns and hits it, so he wasn't really sure where he was, and he hits it straight at the goalkeeper. Anything in the side of the goalkeeper might have created a problem for him, but it was easy.
And it has been easy for Celtic in the end. Livingston held them off in the first half. It was goalless at the break. Celtic were a little bit flat. All those changes, Davy Martindale would have thought they'd got a large chunk of the hard work done. Unfortunately for him, Celtic had so much in resource.
Yeah, when you lose a goal right after half-time also, Liam, you know, that's the key. You know, you've got to try to get yourself through the next 10-15 minutes of that second half. You lose it, then you've got to try to change Obviously Celtic were always going to bring players off the bench.
That's why it's such a big goal for Nygren just a couple of minutes into the second half, isn't it?
Yeah, and the change for him, obviously having getting Forrest out on his right hand side, as I think he's done better, much better in the second half.
And Forrest doing some good defensive work this time, down by his own corner flag over on the far side. Celtic right. Champions clear. Ryan McGowan picks it up on the halfway line, and now it's Smith whose effort is blocked. And then a wild effort from Scott Pittman. Slices it high over the bar, and it stays at 3-0 to Celtic.
Yeah, just playing out time now, Celtic. Just waiting to get on that plane to go to Kazakhstan with 3 points in the bag. From Livingston's point of view, they'll be disappointed after doing, as you say, the hard work in the first half. To lose the game eventually 3-0 is not a great result for them, but they've got to pick themselves up. This is a bonus for them.
They're at home to Hearts next week, Livy. It's Lewis Smith. It's that wonderful mazy goal in the playoff second leg against Ross County in the final last season. Gets it back from Pittman. Low ball across, cut out by Namura. There's Pittman. May clips for goal. It's high over the bar again. And it stays 3-0 Celtic, and we have played 86.5. So the closing stages of this one, attention, as Paki was saying, for Celtic will turn to Kazakhstan, their trip to Almaty tomorrow for the game on Tuesday evening against Kairat. It's a 5:45 kickoff UK time, and of course goalless after the first leg. Winner goes through to the Champions League. Live here on Sports Sound. Forrest drives across as he attacks down the right, gathered by Prior at his near post.
Yeah, nice bit of build-up play from Celtic, from the goal, using the goalkeeper. Nice diamond there between himself, Scales, Murray, McGregor, and working the ball through the thirds of the pitch, and getting Forrest away down the right-hand side. Just a final ball, let him down.
Remember tomorrow, St Mirren against Rangers, lunchtime kickoff, live here on BBC Radio Scotland. And I mentioned that Champions League qualifier on Tuesday, Club Brugge against Rangers on Wednesday evening. It's also live here on the radio. And then on Thursday, you've got Aberdeen going to Romania to take on FCSB 2-2 after the first leg. Up to Tawdry the other night. They go to the National Stadium in Bucharest. And in the Conference League, Hibs 2-1 down to Legia Warsaw when they go to the Polish capital. What an atmosphere they'll face in that stadium there. Can't remember if Paki was with me in that stadium when we covered Celtic all those years ago.
Yeah.
Ronnie Dyla, it was early on in the Dyla days, wasn't it? And they lost 4-1. And you might remember the Bartosz Berezinski incident, which allowed Celtic a reprieve, having been knocked out. I'll never forget that match, because I think Celtic at that one point in the game, they were 2-1 down, but they were still in a position where they were going through. Ronnie Dyla kept waving his players forward because he didn't like the fact they were losing the match, but forward they went. Efe Ambrose got sent off late on and they lost 4-1.
Liam, you got a good memory. Those kind of results are just blend into the background for me. They're stuck somewhere, and I don't want them.
I'm just going through it because I'm thinking about the stadium the Hibs are going to be playing in on Thursday. It's quite the place. Here's Stevie May for Livy, up towards the edge of the box. Still he goes. McGregor gets there between the man and the ball, wins it back and passes it back to Schmeichel. We're in the 90th minute. 3-0 Celtic. The flick from Forrest. Engels gets onto it over on the far side. He goes out to play off a Livy boot for a Celtic throw-in. Deep into stoppage time at Tynecastle, it remains 3-3, as they are at Rugby Park, but it remains 0-0. We're about to find out what the stoppage time will be here. A couple of minutes for the subs, I would have thought. This game's done. Maida plays it across and wins the corner off McGowan.
Yeah, good play again from Maida. Good link-up play down this left-hand side, and just got this cross a little bit at the end, but it won the set of corner. But the game's over, the game's dead, and it's just a matter of, can Celtic probably score another one now?
Could easily do. Arne Engels over the corner on this near side. 3 minutes added. We're into the first of them. And Engels is over this. A short option in James Forrest. That's where it goes. Forrest level with the penalty spot, finds McGregor. Back out to Engels, back to McGregor. Squares it.
Strike.
Donovan as a goal, blocked by Pittman on the 18-yard line. And then it bounces behind harmlessly for the goal kick, and many more Celtic fans heading out. It will be 3 points for them, and Benjamin Nygren gets the sponsors of the club man of the match.
Yeah, it deserves it for his 2 goals and his second half performance, playing in a different position. That's what you've got to say. On the right-hand side, when he was wide, definitely didn't suit him, and he kept coming in the inside and that. But he's worked away at his game. He's kept him on the pitch. He's got his reward, and yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah, and the board here getting slaughtered for a lack of new signings, yet it is a new signing that scored twice for them this afternoon and got them going early in the second half. As Lewis Smith picks up wide in the right of the Celtic box, into it he goes, plays it across, and then it's cleared by McGregor towards the halfway line. And Wilson just knocks it to his right for McGowan. He played one of the, in fact, we played a minute and a half of the 3 that were added, so 90 seconds left. Now it's with Finlayson, gets onto it from McGowan. Driving down this right-hand side, he finds Smith, he'll win the corner. A late match corner for Livy as they look for some kind of consolation to take back along the M8 with them. And Stevie May will come out to this near side to take it. On the Livy right. That game at Tynecastle's all over. It's finished all square, 3-3. As it has at Rugby Park, 0-0. Draws in those two. It's May's corners floated into the box. Header at goal, tipped over by Schmeichel from Ryan McGowan.
Yeah, big deep corner, way to the back post. Dean Murray, who's looks as if he's really struggling now to finish the game. He looks tired, and he just mistimed his jump, and the ball's headed back across him, and Schmeichel just had to tip it over.
Morton scored a late equaliser, 2-2 with Ayr. Capello, May's next corner comes in, but Sila heads it well wide, and that should be just about that. There's about 20 seconds remaining. Celtic 3, Livy 0. And now, what a match they face on Tuesday. Giving it away. Celtic, Yengi into the box and put behind for the corner by Donovan. A little bit sloppy at the back. That's not, I mean, it's not come to anything.
Yeah, it's just Dean Murray again. I don't think he wanted the ball for Schmeichel there, to be sure. He can hardly walk the young man. He's so tired looking, and just give the ball away again. Yengi took it off him.
Corner from May, bends it in, swings it to the back post area, but it's headed down by Finlayson. Smith to the back post, but it goes behind for the goal kick. And that will be it now, surely. Kevin Clancy hasn't quite blown. In fact, there he goes, he's blown it now. Win for Celtic. And now it's all about Kairat and the multi-millions they could potentially make from a place in the Champions League. Second half double from Nygren, 1 from Kenny. Job done. The champions who've won 3 out of 3 at the start of their title defence. And a first defeat in the league this season for Livingston on their return to the top flight. It finished Celtic 3, Livingston 0.